For every hero, there stands a villain. For if there is good, there also must be evil. Confronting this dark lord of the Sith and all that he represents is a critical part of the hero's journey.
Join me, and I will complete your training. If you only knew the power of the dark side.
When Vader was introduced in Episode 4, A New Hope, there was little to suggest that underneath his protective black bodysuit stood the figure of a once proud hero, whose personality would be revealed as more complex and resonant with each new Star Wars chapter.
I've encountered divergence.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
He is the chosen one.
As revealed in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Vader was born Anakin Skywalker. Rescued from a life of slavery by Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, the young boy left his home and mother to fulfill his destiny.
I will come back and free you, Mom. I promise.
Here is a gifted person who grows up in an oppressive situation. He begins life as a slave, who suffers terrible losses early in his life.
Don't look back. Don't look back.
He's wrenched away from his mother. And it is the rage, stemming probably from grief and fear, that leads to the fall of this particular hero.
We can look at Anakin Skywalker having to deal with the problem of loss and having great difficulties with it. It begins when he loses his mother.
Stay with me, Mom.
I love.
It's setting in motion the events that will lead to him being Darth Vader. I went to find my mother and she was dead, so I slaughtered a whole village full of sand people.
I killed them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too. I hate them!
It throws him into a dark state, and he believes that he could have done something to prevent it.
Why couldn't I save her? I know I could have.
You're not all-powerful.
Well, I should be.
He's gripped by power, which is a temptation that Luke is able to avoid.
I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. I promise you. I will even learn to stop people from dying.
It has all the hallmarks of a classical epic. In the Iliad, Achilles, who is the hero of the Greek army, is dodged by anger. The first 20 books, he's angry at Agamemnon. The 22nd through 24th book, he's angry at Hector. He is angry. This is exactly what Star Wars is dealing with, which is fear leads to anger, leads to hate, leads to suffering.
Take the first line of the Iliad. Sing, O goddess, the wrath of Peleus' son Achilles, whose anger brought pains 1,000-fold upon the Achaeans. If that's the lesson of the Iliad, that unbridled passion leads to tragedy, which it certainly does in the Iliad, well, isn't that the story of Darth Vader?
We do not grant you the rank of master.
What? He wants power, but he's kind of weak. He's impatient.
How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
He's kind of like a spoiled teenager.
Forgive me, Master.
I hope you trust me, Anakin.
Of course.
Anakin's relationship with Palpatine grows stronger, and the role of mythic mentor takes on a darker shade.
This is the same narrative role as the serpent with Eve in the Garden of Eden. The serpent says, you can have the power of God.
Only through me can you achieve a power greater than any Jedi.
And then he says, God is afraid of the power.
Be careful, the Jedi, Anakin. They see your future. They know your power will be too strong to control.
This is exactly what is laid before Anakin.
Anakin is also tormented by horrifying nightmares concerning his wife, Padme.
You die in childbirth.
It was only a dream.
I won't let this one become real.
He gets too possessed by the fear of losing again the main woman in his life, and that leads him to the dark side.
Darth Plagueis, he had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
In keeping with the mythic overtones of Star Wars, Anakin succumbs and makes this Faustian bargain. The Faust story in its classic form is the story of a man who sells his soul to the devil in order to achieve power.
Anakin receives his baptism as a Dark Lord of the Sith.
Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader.
Now his story directly parallels that of the devil himself. As told in John Milton's epic poem, Paradise Lost, Lucifer was once one of God's most beautiful and favored angels. But Lucifer's conceit and his lust for power over God caused him to wage war on heaven. Defeated, he was cast out and created his own kingdom in hell.
Like Milton's Satan, Anakin Skywalker is the man who cannot resist the temptation of power.
I am becoming more powerful than any Jedi has ever dreamed of, and I'm doing it for you.
A part of Lucifer's downfall was his own pride and his own arrogance.
I am more powerful than the Chancellor. I can overthrow him. And together, you and I can rule the galaxy.
And pride always goes before a fall.
You're going down a path I can't follow. Stop! Stop now! Come back!
You're with him! You brought him here to kill me!
No!
Let her go, Anakin! Let her go!
Lucas is also hearkening back to Greek tragedy. Anakin loses Padme. His attempt to save her by going over to the dark side of the Force kills her. That is the fundamental Greek tragedy.
You turned her against me!
You have done that yourself!
The battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin on the planet Mustafar has apocalyptic resonances to it. We see lava and fire all around, and this mirrors what is happening to Anakin internally. We really have descended to hell because we're about to see Anakin's own damnation.
You underestimate my power! Don't try it!
And I love what George Lucas does with the symbolism here. He's so passionate that it burns him and consumes him.
The dismemberment of Anakin goes to the extent symbolically of how much he really lost his humanity. He's become cut off from himself, but also from others.
It actually feels kind of Wagnerian to me, that the price of evil becomes apparent.
This is George Lucas looking to mythology, specifically the Greek myth of Nemesis, the notion that you are somehow going to be the victim of the things that you sow.
Now, Anakin has to live in hell. And for someone that passionate, hell for him is to become a mechanical monster.